Hi, everyone. I want to tell you a story that starts in the summer of 2021. I was the UX lead for a project of my dreams. This was a project I helped bring to life, helped in promoting it to senior Amazon leadership, and helped get it funded. To me, it was the most exciting project I'd ever worked on at Amazon. And despite all that, this summer, I was ready to give it up. After we got it funded, I saw my team take it to a place that I strongly believed was a mistake. At Amazon, in these situations, we talk about having backbone, disagree, and commit. But in all my 2.5 years here, I've never actually used this LP effectively. To be specific, I didn't use the backbone part effectively. And without strong backbone, disagree and commit doesn't work. What was different about this time was that I was in a trap. I believed a big mistake was being made, yet I couldn't disagree and commit because the idea was going against other key leadership principles. The team was proposing to optimize for quick profit over our long-term goals of educating customers. And in my mind, that wasn't customer obsessed. It wouldn't earn us one bit of trust, and it definitely didn't strive for the highest standards. So in the beginning, I showed backbone the way I always did. In meetings, I spoke up whenever we talked about an idea that I thought didn't align with our vision, and I added challenging questions and comments to the doc the team was writing. But despite my efforts, everyone else seemed to be for this idea. The 2 higher level managers on the team, all the engineers and the other stakeholders all seemed okay with this proposal. They kept telling me, look, we need to get something out there. Don't worry, we'll improve later. But I wasn't just talking about an improvement. The situation was very overwhelming because in my mind, we needed to change the whole concept. I felt completely misunderstood. And as time went by, I started to get really stressed. I didn't know how to get myself to work on a project I so fundamentally disagreed with. I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to leave the project I invested so much time and thought into, but I felt like I couldn't handle the stress anymore. So I asked myself, is this a battle I should continue fighting? And do I have the courage to keep showing backbone when everyone on my team continues to disagree? I'm the type of person that gets nervous when I have to speak up for myself, especially when it really matters. For me to stand up to someone, let alone a group of higher level stakeholders, is intimidating. But I found my courage in the fact that this really mattered. I saw that if we were to optimize for short-term results and quick profit, we would miss the foundation of education and not achieve the long-term vision of our PRFAQ. Then I started to look for supporters. I went to my manager and told her what's happening. I asked other designers if they think I'm going too far. And I went to other non-designers and I shared the ideas our team was talking about and what I felt about them. And I was supported. I built my own coalition. Once I saw that people outside of our core project team shared my reality, I felt more comfortable with my point of view. So I learned that having proper backbone means first, you've got to be really fired up and passionate to make a change. And then you need to check yourself with others and get their support. Our next team meeting was meant to be a usual meeting where we continued to revise the doc. Leadership was focused on getting the minimum lovable product out and launched, and I believed they were fully committed to the wrong path. So earlier that day, I went to the PM and I told him I still have great concerns about this project. He continued to tell me that we need to deliver now and we'll improve later. So I asked if I could use a moment from his meeting to speak to everyone before we start. And he let me take that moment. He opened the meeting telling everyone, Noah has something to say. And so I stood in front of this group of engineers and I was petrified. A lot of scenarios went through my head at that moment. What if I advocate for what I care about and others don't care? What if I continue to show disagree without commit and I lose my job? But at the same time, I thought of these other leadership principles that we were not following, and that tension was driving me crazy. Again, I found my courage in the fact that it really mattered, and I started talking. I talked about Amazon's values of customer obsession and earning trust and working backwards from the customer. And then I tied all that to the spirit of our project. I took my team back to our vision and reminded them why we were so proud and excited to work on this project in the first place. And then when I was done talking, there was silence. I couldn't tell if people were shocked or afraid to talk or didn't have anything to say. I had no idea what was going to happen. And then our engineer manager said, I don't see anything lovable about our minimum lovable product. And then the principal engineer said, I don't understand why we're doing it this way. And then other people chimed in with their own words. And all of a sudden, there was no longer buy-in for the same project we've been working on for weeks. We had to go back to the drawing board because no one was bought in anymore. The PM decided to stop the meeting and we started from scratch. And now we're actually working on this project the way it was supposed to be done. Through this process, I learned a few things. One is that I can find courage to keep showing backbone for what I believe in. Second is that there are people to support me even when I feel alone. And third is that I can speak up when it really matters. And if I speak before people are completely committed to the work, we can change a bad idea into a good one. So often as designers, many of us face this problem. We're sitting in a room full of engineers or product managers with very good business ideas, but that potentially don't show enough empathy or can even be dangerous to our customers. And sometimes in these situations, after we've expressed our objections, we just want to move on, either step away or disagree and commit. But it is in moments like this when it really matters that you too can find courage to continue having backbone by clarifying your vision, seeking support, and then speaking up. Because when we take those steps, change can happen. Thank you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please reach out. Bye.